Hi.
Hey, there we go. Ooh, sorry, that was really loud. Sorry. All right, now we're good. Sorry, got a little bit of internet problem in here, but it's good enough where we can actually hear you. So, Riley, thanks a lot for joining us tonight from Connecticut, beautiful state that it is. Musician, singer, songwriter. All right, Riley, let's get right into it here, my friend. Talk a little bit about yourself, how you got started in music, and what sort of things influence you musically.
I really got into music when I was around 8. That was kind of when I started to develop a real interest in singing and music and songwriting. And it wasn't really until I was around 13 that I got a vocal teacher and stuff that I had been so excited about that. And I met my vocal teacher right now, Carrie Johnson, who's an amazing mentor and friend and vocalist and songwriter. And we started working on my EP then when I first met her. And she was the one that really encouraged me to to record the songs that we wrote. And that's kind of how I got my start in music. It's been absolutely incredible. And as far as influences go, I really like to listen to a lot of people like Maroon 5 and Bruno Mars, and all the way back to retro music like Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and people like that. I mean, they all are people that really don't disappoint live, because nowadays I feel like there are a lot of artists that they don't sound as great as they do on their albums and stuff like that live, and it's a real disappointment to me. So I really strive to make sure that I didn't have any vocal editing on my EP, so people can come and listen to me and think that I'm just as good, if not better. So that's really cool.
What has been a big challenge for you as a musician at this point in your career?
I don't have so many challenges. The only real challenge recently has been more with production of my EP. I feel like we're really trying to take these 4 songs that we have and really tie them together, because they're really different, each one of them. And I'm really happy with the way that it came out, and I feel like we overcame that problem. And challenges in the studio too. It's such a intricate process, and there's so much that you have to be able to do. And I was there for every part of making these songs, and I've loved it, every single second of it.
Let's talk about your song "Thank You." It's an inspirational song, and there's a bit of a story behind this song. Do you want to talk a little about that story and how you came up with this song?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. When I was younger, I went through a really life-changing experience of bullying, and I had been going to a new school, and I was going through a really awkward phase. Everyone goes through one of those, but the people there weren't very nice to me, to put it mildly. And when I met my vocal coach right now, Carrie Johnson, we started to write about my bullying experience, because we thought it would be a really awesome thing to write about, because it's got a really big meaning behind it. And the actual message kind of behind it is that you can come out of things like that a lot stronger than you started. I really stand behind the phrase, "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger," because I am living proof of it. It really helped me. I was really able to see people there for who they really were, and myself in a whole new light from that experience, and I really thought it would be great to write about it.
Let's talk about the album as well, Thank You. And what can listeners who have never heard it before expect to hear on that album?
They can expect a whole lot of stuff going on there. Thank You is more of a retro-y kind of song. I really thought it would be cool, along with my vocal coach, to bring back something from a long time ago that you don't hear a lot of nowadays. And so that was that. And then Golden and You Want Me When I Leave are more pop songs that you can just dance to. And Stand in Your Way, which is a cover that I did, written by my vocal teacher, is a real ballad, slow song, but it was originally written as a country song, and even though I don't sing it that way, it kind of comes out that way. So we've got a bunch of different stuff, just to recap: retro, pop, and country slow songs. I don't know what that's called, but...
Fair enough. And I guess what was some challenges in coming up with the album?
Well, like I said before, I don't really know. We didn't have so many challenges creating it. I felt like most of the writing and everything like that came so smoothly, and it was an amazing process. But it's more just recording and making sure that they all tied together, because like I said before, recording is such a incredible process. It's so much more than a lot of people think it is. You don't just go in there and sing and be done with it. You have to make sure that all the instruments are great, and it's there have been some challenges that I've had to overcome, but I loved every second of it, like I said before.
What was the most enjoyable part about creating the album then?
Definitely being able to see these songs come to life from the way that they were originally, because when I first started writing them, I mean, there was a big portion of time between we started them and then when we recorded them and got them out there. Once we got into the studio, they came out so incredibly different and amazing to me personally. I'm not saying like they're amazing, but and unexpected. I just love that portion of it.
Where do you sort of see yourself headed in the next year or two as a musician?
You know, I really don't know. I honestly, in a year, I still want to be writing music and making sure that I'm performing still, because I perform a lot live, and it's the most amazing feeling in the world, and I don't know what I'd do without that. I definitely want to find management, things like that, and be able to take what's going on right now to the next level, and I'm really optimistic, so we're going to see what happens.
Talk to me really quickly about what it's like to be a musician and an artist without sort of any help in terms of management or a label, or anything that really does all that nitty-gritty behind-the-scenes work to get you to where you want to be.
I mean, it's really awesome. I mean, I don't mind not having any of like management or anything like that. I think it's really cool to be independent at the time, because you can do what you want to do and you can be able to sing songs you want to sing, and there's no one really telling you can't do certain things. I mean, being an independent artist and stuff like that, when you do recording and other things, you need to be there for everything, because I mean, they're your songs and you want to make sure that they come out the way you want them to come out. So I've been doing so much, like I've been part of every single process and everything like that.
I guess, is there an enjoyable part about doing all that nitty-gritty work as well? Do you like the fact that you sort of have control over your own career as opposed to sort of somebody that's got their hand more in the sort of you're going to perform here aspect, and this is where your music needs to be at this level? Do you like the ability that you have more control as a musician? I love that. I mean, I can't really imagine what it's like to be kind of told what you need to do, and I know that a lot of artists have to deal with stuff like that. It's great because you don't have to worry about things, at least for the time being, because you can just make sure that things come out the way you want them to come out and that you're happy with. Well, at least for the time being, for me, I love that. Do you think, what would you do if you were put in a situation then where you have somebody who's, a music producer or something who's at a level and has, helped other musicians? What do you think you would do if someone said, look, I want you to sound more like this, and it's a little less true to your own sound and what you want to be like? How do you think you would really handle a situation like that? Well, I mean, it honestly depends, because I feel like I have a different sound than some people, and if I was told to be like someone else, obviously I would. I mean, if it was a big person, then I would, of course, listen. I mean, I'm not going to, but if it was so far away from what I truly want to be as an artist, I wouldn't want to have to listen to someone like that, because, I mean, if I can't do the kind of music, or sing the kind of music, and write the kind of music that I want to, then it just is kind of restricting to the whole fun aspect of it, because, I mean, being a musician isn't only work. I mean, it's so much fun, and I love it. So if I was being told to do something that I didn't want to do, I mean, it would kind of ruin it, Going to take a couple of questions off of Twitter momentarily, but talk to me really quickly about your songwriting and what sort of things influence you to write songs, and how you come up with songs. Things that influence songs, me personally, are experiences that I have that really stick out, like especially with bullying. And You Want Me When I Leave is about a relationship that I had with the girl, and it kind of was on and off and just ridiculous. And it doesn't even necessarily for me have to be something that actually happened. You can always write about things that you see happen, or you hear about happen, and you can kind of morph it into a story. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your own experience, but most of the time, most of the songs on the EP are experiences that I've had, and an experience that my vocal teacher had with In Your Way.
And Golden is a perfect example of something that didn't happen to me, but it's something that a lot of people can relate to.
I'm going to take some questions off of Twitter here, and one of them is by Carrie Johnson, and she asked, would you ever consider trying out for a show like X Factor or American Idol?
Yes, I would. That's my vocal teacher. But I did last year, which was really cool for me, and I had made it to a point, like, in their cities, and then I made it to the point where you got to go home, and then you get a call back, but I had some issues with an interview and stuff, and it kind of just screwed up everything, which I'm really kind of annoyed about, but I didn't get a call back, and that was upsetting for me, but it really honestly made me want to strive to be a better musician, and I'm considering trying again this year, which is really cool for me because I get back into practicing audition songs, and that was really fun for me. The whole process is really fun.
I was just gonna ask you, but you sort of answered my question there. Does something like that, when you get rejected like that, does it just motivate you to go forward? And I guess also too, to sort of add on to that, when you go through an audition, do you really do they point out things that you're doing wrong, or do they just say that's it, you're done?
Well, with something like that, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be told yes every time, until I never was actually told no. You just get a call back if they want you or not, and they don't call you if you don't want you. So I was lucky enough to not be told no on the spot, but when I was there are a lot of people that they don't really constructive criticize you or anything like that. They just basically say yes or no. And I mean, if they like you, then great. If they don't like you, then that's going to suck because it's not a fun experience. And it does motivate me a lot. I mean, when I didn't get it last year, I was obviously upset, but I hadn't recorded my EP yet, and it really helped me to get on top of things like that. And I was like, you know what? I don't need stuff like that. Even though it would help, I don't need stuff like that to continue and make a name for myself, because, I mean, it's much more impressive to be able to do it yourself instead of having help from something like that. And I'm not against anything like that, because obviously I'm considering doing it again this year because it's just a great platform. But, you know.
Let's take some more questions off of Twitter here because there's a couple of them. This comes from Sophia, and she asks, what made you get into becoming a musician?
Well, like I said before, when I was younger, I loved to sing. And, I mean, I listened to a lot of different kinds of music. And it kind of, from a young age, I was like, I love singing. I want to be able to get up on stage and just sing for people and everything like that. And I mean, as I got older, I really started to get serious about it instead of just as a dream. And I really wanted to start writing music and doing whatever I can to be able to live my dream.
This question comes from Caitlin, and she asks, do you have any tips, suggestions, or words of wisdoms for people who want to be a singer?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to sound so like everyone else says this, but honestly, just if you love music and if you're so passionate about it, never give up. Because, I mean, when I first started out singing, I obviously had so much stuff that I needed to work on. And from then, I've come such a long way personally. And I know everyone says that, obviously, to just never give up. But, I mean, if you don't give up, you'll just be able to keep getting better and better and better at it, and you can achieve anything if you never give up.
This comes from Katie, and she asks, what artist, person, or group inspires you the most musically?
Definitely someone like Bruno Mars, someone who's like absolutely fantastic, both recorded and live. I've heard some of his stuff, and I'm just blown away by the amount of vocal talent that he has. And things like that make me want to get up off the couch and just go sing and practice and do whatever I can, because, I mean, it's not intimidating, but it's just really motivating to see people who are out there doing what they love and being amazing at it, and you want to be just like them.
This question comes from Abby, and it's very, very similar to the question you just answered, but I'm going to ask anyway because it's a bit different too. And she asks, who has influenced you more, I guess, the most with your writing for music?
I don't know, actually. Someone who influences me writing, I feel like it's kind of the same as who influences me vocally and musically. I mean, the songs by people like Bruno Mars and Maroon 5 and Stevie Wonder and people like that, they really have meanings behind them, and I love that. I mean, I'm not saying that all my songs have crazy, intricate meanings behind them, but I really love songs like that because it's not like, I mean, you know, like there's actually something behind it, and it's really great to kind of hear it from them and hear a story instead of just random words that don't really make sense.
Talk a bit about what it's like growing up in Connecticut. I've had the chance to go there, but it was so long ago, I truly don't remember it. What's it like growing up in Connecticut, and do you find it harder to being a musician from Connecticut, I guess, considering you're next door to a bigger state, which is New York, where they sort of steal your thunder?
Growing up in Connecticut, first of all, is great. It's really, I don't want to say quiet, but I mean, there's not like a ton of stuff going on all the time. Especially where I live. I live in like a smaller town, there's not a lot of stuff that goes on here. So, I mean, being a musician here where I am is kind of cool because there aren't a ton of people that are doing what I'm doing. And I mean, being near New York and places like that, I don't feel like that steals my thunder. I mean, mostly other musicians motivate me more to be better at what I do. And I love that. So, I mean, the more people that are going to be singing in New York will just, in the end, ultimately, will hopefully make me better.
What is this comes from Abby Adamson, and this is what is your favorite part about performing?
I love the way you feel during afterwards. I mean, there's always like a nervousness inside of you before you do anything in front of people. But once I get out on stage personally, it's just, I mean, I get like a rush from it, I guess. It's really awesome. And to be able to sing for people and have them be excited about it is just the most amazing feeling in the world.
I got a couple more questions off of Twitter here, and they're all great questions. And this is what I like about doing this is I've gotten so many good questions that like I don't think I would personally be able to come up with, and that's what I love about doing these fan questions. So this is a good one as well. It is they're not necessarily a music question, but do you like sports, Riley?
I do. I mean, I'm really more of a hockey person than any other sport. I don't really follow a ton of sports. Like, I don't really watch football and things like that. But since the lockout just ended for the NHL, I'm definitely watching that and stuff like that. And I have about 1 billion hockey jerseys and sweatshirts in my room right now. So.
Now, being that this is a show that takes place in Toronto, and we're crazy about hockey here, even though our team hasn't won in gosh know how long. Who is your favorite hockey team? What is your favorite hockey team?
You know, I don't know. I feel like I'm really influenced by my family and stuff. I mean, I have a bunch. Like, my brothers love hockey too, and my grandpa loves hockey, and everyone loves hockey. I really love the Penguins and the Bruins and the Capitals and those teams.
Do you wish the Hartford Whalers were still a franchise? Absolutely.
I think that it'd be awesome if we had a team here in Connecticut. It's kind of sad that we don't.
So do you get this is purely Canadian talking to a fellow hockey person, but do you watch any other sort of the other leagues of hockey? Do you get out to AHL games? Because I know Hartford has an AHL team.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't in a while because I've been really busy with music stuff and things like that, but I've been to a bunch. I haven't been to the Whale, actually, which is like one of the teams here, which is like a lot of people go to those games, and I haven't been to one of those in a while, which is kind of sad because I'd really like to.
You mentioned hockey jerseys, so I'm just going to ask you really quickly, who's your favorite player?
I don't really know. There are a bunch. I really like Ovechkin. He's pretty awesome. That's probably my favorite.
Fair enough. It's a good answer. I've got one of his jerseys as well, so he's a great player. It really must be excited the lockout is finally over. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get back to some more questions on Twitter here, and this one comes. I'm not sure who this is by, but nevertheless, I'm going to spin this question a little bit. And would you like to? Where I guess is one venue that you'd love to perform the most at?
I mean, I don't know a ton of venues. I mean, everyone says, like, Madison Square Garden and things like that, and obviously I would be ecstatic to perform somewhere like that. I don't really know many places. Like, I was listening to New Hollow, and they had, like, all these bunch of things, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know half these places. but definitely somewhere like Madison Square Garden. And there's a lot of casinos here in Connecticut where a lot of people go to, a lot of singers and bands come to play, like Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods, which I think that would be really cool because especially it's in my home state. So
I was just going to ask you as well to follow up on that, and that would be, you sort of answered already, is there somewhere you'd love to perform within Connecticut?
Yeah, I mean, definitely think Foxwoods more than Mohegan Sun because I think it's really cool. I've been there. I haven't been to Mohegan Sun before, but I've been to Foxwoods, and I thought it was a really cool atmosphere there. And I'm going to Mohegan Sun. I'm going to Mohegan Sun soon to see a Maroon 5 concert, so I'm gonna see how that is, and then maybe that'll influence my answer.
All right, and this is sort of actually the original question to that sports one, and that is, are you into baseball? And that comes from Katie.
Not really. I haven't really ever been into baseball. I remember a while ago, really wanted to start playing baseball, but I didn't get the opportunity to. I don't really watch baseball that much, but I definitely like to play it. It seems like a really awesome sport.
If there is, I guess, one thing that you'd like to accomplish most in your career, what would it be?
Definitely right now, currently, I want to finish, like with my EP right now, I want to be able to bring out a full-blown album, which I'm writing new stuff with my vocal teacher, and we're working on a lot of new stuff, so that's really exciting. That's currently my goal right now. I mean, once I do something like that, I don't know what my goal is going to be, but...
All right, got a couple more questions here off of Twitter, and there's a bunch of good ones here. I think I may have asked this one, but I'm going to ask you it again because it comes from the unwritten rules, and maybe they didn't get a chance to hear the first time. But I guess who are your influences outside of the professional music world?
Oh wow, that's a hard question. Well, I don't know if they mean like non-musician, but someone outside of the really famous music world. Oh, gee, that's a really hard question. I honestly don't know. I don't know. That's actually really hard. I need to think about that.
Fair enough. I guess if let's just go with the thought then that if it's non-music influences, like are you influenced by relationships or just what you see going around you or politics?
Probably definitely things going on around me. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in school and all over the place. And I feel like I was saying before, a song doesn't necessarily have to be about you or an experience that you've had. And I mean, sometimes things can go on around you that you could be like, you know what, this is a really good thing to write about for a song. I think this is a great idea. And I mean, I don't know if I continue to write an album, like a full-blown thing, then I would definitely probably have some songs like that about surrounding things that would inspire me.
Got a couple more questions here off of Twitter. I think as well, I think I might have asked you this one too, but this coming from a different person. This comes from Kaylin. So if you weren't a singer, what would you be doing right now?
Oh, wow. I would probably be playing hockey or something. I love hockey. I haven't played in a little while because I kind of got started late again, and then I would have been thrown into a really, I don't know how to explain it, a really good league that I wasn't ready for at the time. And I want to get back to it. It's such a hard thing to just jump back into all of a sudden. But I'd probably be playing hockey. I don't know so much as like another profession. I mean, music personally isn't my profession right now, but I mean, it's what I definitely want to do. I want to do something music related as I get older, whether it be being a singer or a vocal teacher or anything like that. So probably playing hockey or another kind of sport.
I'm just gonna. This again is coming from an individual who's played hockey himself up here in Canada. I guess to just give me really, really quickly, what kind of a league system do they have? Is there a decent enough sort of recreational league system down in Connecticut that you guys, there is lots of people that want it, that are involved in playing hockey down there?
Yeah. My brother actually right now plays hockey, and he just got out of the Avon League, which is my town. But we have a really good thing. Like there's I don't know how to say it, like division gap. There's like for younger kids, as you get older, you kind of move up to older group of people, and you kind of go like that, and then eventually once you go to high school or something like that, you can switch from that, but it continues up. It's pretty good. I wasn't that great when I started again because I played when I was younger and then stopped for a while and then came back. And there were a lot of kids that were like me that were kind of just starting, and they started a whole new team just for us for that year, which was really awesome for me. So it was like a year to relearn everything that was going on. So I mean, I don't know if that makes it sound better, but it was pretty cool.
Now, you just mentioned Avon, and I guess this just popped in my head, but I thought for a second, I asked you that question, and then I thought, Avon, why does that sound so familiar in hockey world? So you guys have had quite a few NHL players actually come out of the Avon Old Farms or I guess it's some sort of high school collegiate level hockey, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know that, but it's pretty cool. Guys like Brian Leach and Chris Higgins and Jonathan Quick. So that's pretty cool stuff. Do you get influenced by a lot of? Are you influenced by hockey in terms of your music? Does anything hockey related influence you in writing songs?
Not currently. I mean, maybe in the future. I don't know what will happen in the future with my songwriting, but it could definitely.
This is sort of a spin-off on this coming question here, and it is from Katie, and she sort of asks, what's the one thing you could change about yourself? But I'll just say, what's one thing that you could improve on when it comes to your music career? Excuse me.
Definitely. I mean, I always feel like there's room for improvement vocally, personally, because I'm such a self-critical singer. I mean, I won't be happy with some of my best performances. I mean, even if I have people that were telling me that they were good. But I definitely feel like there's room for improvement vocally for anyone. I mean, even if you're amazing, it's still, I mean, you can still get better at whatever you're doing. Like, there's still going to be little problems that you have.
All right, got a couple more questions here off of Twitter. I won't keep you on for too much longer because some of us have to get up and go to work tomorrow morning. So a couple of quick questions off here. What's the support been like from family and friends and your school?
It's been really great, actually. A lot of people didn't know. I mean, my family did, but a lot of people at school didn't know that I was a singer up until I released my EP on iTunes. And I got a lot of great response from a lot of people at school that I don't talk to as much. So that was really awesome to have that positive feedback. And I mean, for family, it's been amazing. I mean, they've supported me from the beginning. So that's been absolutely incredible. And friends obviously knew that I was a singer. Some actually didn't, which I was kind of surprised about. But, I mean, I guess I should have told them. But they were excited too. So, I mean, the support that I've been getting is incredible. And I just want to thank everybody.
I'm going to take two more questions off of Twitter here. I guess one of them comes from Abby, but I'm gonna try to spin this a little bit. So have you ever, I guess, being now that you're a singer, have you ever gone down the street and people recognize you and they're like, "Oh, hey, that's Riley," like, and if so, what's that feeling like?
No, not yet. But I mean, if that ever happened, I would probably be so blown away. I'd be like, "What?" Because I'm so not used to that. It's never happened to me yet. But that would be probably the coolest thing ever if it did.
And one last quick question here. What is the first album you ever bought?
Oh, wow. That's probably really... I mean, I've never really... When I first got into music, I mostly listened to YouTube. So I listened to a lot of, like, stuff that I would hear on the radio by various people that I can't even remember. The first album I ever bought, I don't even know. I mean... When I was younger, I listened to Green Day. I mean, not young, but that was probably one of the first albums that I had bought because I went to a Green Day concert with one of my good friends at the time, and that was probably one of the first albums that I bought and listened to a lot.
Riley, for those that are listening for the very first time, how do they get a hold of you on social media?
You can follow me at Riley and Lynch on Twitter, and I have a Facebook